Welcome back to Around the Interwebs. This is the show that we ask creators for their thoughts, opinions, reactions to all the crazy, stupid, silly, and annoying stuff that happens on the internet. And oh boy, do we got an exciting show for you today. I want to start this monologue with a question out to you guys. Do you guys shower every day? And if so, do you shower from head to toe with soap and lather up and scrubbing yourself down? Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher don't. They've gotten a lot of flack for it. It's just stupid. It's stupid. We're going to take a look at that. And have you guys heard about the Disney Star Wars Hotel, the Galactic Star Cruiser that they have going on? They went ahead and this hotel is going to be an experience similar to a cruise ship, but on land. They came out with their pricing and offerings on this. And I don't know about you, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford it anytime soon. But even if I could, would it be worth it? We're going to take a look at that. And we also have Twitch back in the news. This time it's for two different reasons. Both have sparked very interesting debates. So let's first look at the price changes. We're gonna also take a look at their at their platform and what they're doing with their gambling streams. And how this is going to affect their creators overall, not just with the gambling streams, but also with the pricing changes that's happening. So it's a very interesting situation when it comes to it. And most importantly, don't gamble with our future. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and click that bell for notifications. Today, he is also the top 1% for deaths, top 1% for epic fails. How are you doing today?
Oh, I am fantastic. Woke up, put both feet on the ground, and just appreciative of the life that I have.
Thank you, bud. I'm excited to have you on the show again, and I'm excited to put you in timeout again. That's probably going to happen. Filling out our orange square, we have a social media expert that helps creators learn how to grow their platforms and prevent burn. You can check him out on YouTube. He is the one and only SydLance.
Doing all right, man. How's your day going?
It's been busy, but I'm excited. I'm excited to have you on the show. You've actually been somebody that we've talked to before in the past and lost contact after Mixer dying and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah, that was a mess.
But yeah, no, I'm excited and thank you guys both. So let's go ahead and talk about bathing. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher were hated on this past week in the news, the internet, and pretty much just about everywhere else over these comments.
You just waded perfectly into a pre-existing argument between Monica and I. We've been fighting for a month now. I told her to stop washing her body with soap. I said, tits, slits, and pits. That's an armchair. He came up with that, not me.
And then I added soles and holes.
Soles and holes. Yeah. But you should not be getting rid of all the natural oil on your skin with a bar of soap every day. It's insane.
Do you guys wash your whole body?
Water.
I don't wash my body with soap every day.
Okay, good. That's good. That's
okay.
Good.
But I wash pits and tits and holes and soles.
Slits.
I wash the slits. I wash my slits and my tits.
I wash my armpits and my crotch daily and nothing else ever.
You don't?
Exactly.
Wait,
and look at his. Let's talk about his skin.
I got a bar, a Lever 2000.
There we
go. It just delivers every time.
Textbook soap.
Nothing else.
They've also went ahead and mentioned that they don't bathe their kids every day, which I've been finding is kind of normal. Myself in general, I mean, I work 50 hours a week, 50 plus hours a week a lot of times, and nobody got time for that. It's whether you're taking 3 showers a day, soaping head to toe, taking 30 minutes and everything else. It gets a little crazy all the way around. I have about a time for a 10-minute shower, in, out, clean yourself, get yourself going, and get yourself on with the day. That's generally how most of my days work, just because of the way the time is. And it's funny because they're getting a lot of flack for this, but in reality, there's doctors and everything else that are saying that they're actually right. Here's Dr. Mike taking a look at showering every single day.
When it comes to showering, same thing. Your skin doesn't like hot water. Your skin doesn't like having soap all over it all the time. In fact, your shower should be really, ideally short, like 3 or 4 minutes, just focusing on like your groin, your armpits. That's about it.
So I'm going to go to Biggie first. Biggie, what is your take on bathing every day and going from there? Like, are you like, because The Rock went ahead and mentioned he goes ahead, he takes 3 showers every single day and he's in for like 45 minutes at a time. Where are you on?
All right. Well, first off, The Rock's crazy. Okay. 45-minute showers 3 times a day. That's a bit much. But I look at it's a personal perspiration choice, if you will. I feel like The Rock is the kind of guy that he works out a lot. Maybe he doesn't, maybe his body odor ain't right. Like, my son, he's 11. He needs to shower daily because he tends to sweat. He's outside playing around. You know what I mean? My daughter, she's 2. I have to bathe her, at least wash her hair daily. That's weird. Wash her hair daily because she gets crap in her hair. So I want to make sure that my kids are clean, but at the same time, I don't over wash them. And myself, I personally, I take a shower when I can. So once every 3 days, I'm taking showers. Every day I try to wash up a little bit, but like you said, I don't have time for that. There's just only 24 hours in the day. And I know when my skin and my body feels good and feels healthy. Plus, I don't have hair to wash. So
I mean, Mila Kunis kind of put it out there in a way that I thought was funny. She cleans the tits and slits and calls it a day, and moves on. I mean, am I wrong in thinking that that's normal? Like, because that's what I think. I mean, and even Dr. Mike said it. He's like, your body doesn't like these chemicals on your body. Your body doesn't like the extreme hot temperatures that waters are.
I mean, I definitely have gone through phases where I do that. Right now, I'm trying to get back in the gym. So, like, I have to shower a little bit more often. But yeah, I mean, as long as you're keeping wiped up and you're not offensive with your body odor, I don't see any problem with it. I feel like Dr. Mike is right. You have natural oils on your skin that help you maintain moisture and a healthy glow, So yeah, I don't see a problem with it.
And I think that this is one of the most non-story stories that we've talked about on the show. I think that it's just interesting that people, because I really feel like the same people that are hating on Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher are doing the same exact thing that they are. What do you guys think? Is this blown out of proportion? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, for our next story, let's go ahead and talk about Disney. Disney has been working on a major expansion to their Orlando theme parks, from adding numerous rides to complete revamp of the Epcot Center. They've also had the recent addition into Star Wars on their Hollywood studios. And part of that Star Wars expansion is the Star Wars Hotel. The Star Wars Hotel is going to be a much different experience than what is being offered at any other Disney park, and really just about any other park that I've seen. And if I'm wrong, please in the comments let me know. But this is going to be more of an experience. This is like a cruise ship on land, where it's going to be a 2-day event. You're going to go in there and you're going to be fully immersed into the world of Star Wars. Now, like most things that come with Disney, your experiences come with a pretty hefty price tag. And if you take a look at this graphic, we're going to go ahead and look at these prices that came out. When these prices came out, Universal had some thoughts of their own. They had this tweet as well. How many churros can you buy? That's what I want to know. So guys, what are you guys thinking on this?
I mean, I think when it comes to large corporations, that type of marketing and social media strategy works really well. People love seeing big corporations rip each other apart on social media, and it cracks them up. It's entertaining. I think it's very different when it comes to like small creators and streamers that can really damage your reputation. You just come across as a very toxic person. But with corporations, they have a little bit more leeway, and I think it works pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, pretty cool when it comes to that. Biggie, are you going to be blasting off to a galaxy far, far away?
All right. So first off, Disney's gonna Disney, right? As far as the price is concerned, Disney is gonna Disney. They pick and choose how things are gonna run. It's just that simple. They come up with a unique idea that nobody else has ever done before. They get to pick the pricing. It's not for the normal person. It's not for a family vacation. That's not what they're going for. They're aiming at the next generation of people, which are um, couples with no children, which is a whole generation of people are now that's what they're doing. They're waiting in their lives to have children, so that they can enjoy life early. So that's what Disney's aiming at. People with extra money to blow, people with that's only going to be 2 or 4. You can't take your family of 8 to this hotel, so it's not for you. It's not for a family. It's for couples. You know what I mean? Like couples that know what they're doing in life. So that gets the pricing out of the way. Um, the I just want to mention that the other ideas that could stem off, please believe there will be a Stark Tower hotel or something of that nature. That Disney continues to branch off just like this. As far as Universal trolling them, they're not actually trolling. And I think it's petty, if anything else. I think that Universal was like, we didn't come up with this idea first. We weren't smart enough to do this. We need to do something to try to make people, doubt it. I think that this is showing Universal's hand, and that as far as theme parks and things like that, Universal knows that they're never going to be able to defeat what Disney brings to the table. Because again, what a unique idea! For $4,500, I go to space. Deal, deal. If I have to save up to go enjoy this, it's worth it. It's worth every damn penny, if you ask me. And I haven't even experienced it yet. So will I be trying to? Of course, I will be trying to do this. And for those of you that can't afford it, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But if you figure out for you and your wife, not your children, again, not for families, more for couples. If you figure out a way to get there, you're going to enjoy something that not everybody gets to afford. Not everybody gets to enjoy because they didn't make it $1,000, which is affordable. They made it something that is it. The price shows its uniqueness. I just think it's a genius idea, and I can't wait. I can't wait.
Well, I think that you're not wrong when it comes to this. I think that you have some very very good points as far as like who this is for and stuff like that. I mean, especially in the beginning with something new, there's usually a higher price tag than what is normal because there's nothing else like it, right? There's nothing else happening and going from there. So this is kind of like a one-time experience that you really can't really get any. I'm kind of really excited about it. I would really love, and even though he keeps saying not to bring your kids and stuff because pricing and stuff, I would love to take my kids to that and go from there. I think that would be a really really interesting experience to have for them. Something that I would want to save up to provide that for them. I mean, Sid, is this type of hotel, this type of experience, something that would excite you and what you do with your family?
I mean, personally, for me, I would rather spend the money going on a trip to a destination. I don't know if there's anything that I'm that big of a fan of to where that would be exciting to me. I definitely think it's an exciting concept, though. Like Biggie was saying, this is a one of a kind thing, and if Star Wars is your deal, then that would be a phenomenal experience. So I definitely can't hate on him for it. I think it's an amazing idea. Personally, I'd rather go on a destination trip to Europe or something like that for that type of money.
No, and that's right. I mean, that's it. It really comes down to like what you obviously your personal opinions and personal experiences. I mean, me and my wife, we are Disney X, and that's kind of why this kind of sticks out for us. So doing something like that and being able to experience Disney in a different way might be, you know what I mean? It might give us like that little different.
The only difference that I think it's going to be important to remember is that while this is Disney, they're going to be there. Excuse me. You're almost positive that they're going to bring such a Star Wars fan aspect to it in order to keep the brands separate, so that when they keep doing this with other hotels and other ideas, they're able to keep their brands making money on their own rather than people trying to remember, oh, that's right, Disney really owns this all. So I really feel as if while it's a Disney hotel, I really do feel they're going to de-Disney it and really up the Star Wars. You're not going to find Mickey Mouse everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think
I
you're 100% right on that, and it's a really good point in general where I you do trust Disney to provide the experience. One of the things that you do, like if you go to these like these smaller theme parks, that you can lose. And I think that, I mean, even the transportation. So like one of their days that they have, and is that like you get into this what would be a bus, but you never actually see the bus itself. You load into this, and it's like a cabin by itself. It looks like a spaceship, and it has like TVs and projectors in it, where it makes you actually, like, even though you have a bus driving to like MGM to go into it, you'll have a separate entrance coming into like the Batu, the Star Wars area. And then once again, you're never actually getting it on a bus per se. You're getting on a spaceship. You know what I mean? So we go from there, which is kind of like a cool little thing and cool little setup when. So I mean, we have it has a really cool aspect to it and a good side, and that's one of the things that I like the most about it. And if I spend that, I don't think I'm going to be disappointed. And that's one of the things that I like about it. What do you guys think? Is this a 2-day vacation that you guys would be going on? We want to know in those comments down below. Twitch has begun local subscription pricing changes. What that means is around the world, there will be different prices for their subscriptions. This will be better for the viewer around the world because different currencies have different values, and Twitch is expecting that this will bring in more subscriptions to the platform so that it help it actually start making money off of it. If you live in the US, Canada, Switzerland, Israel, or Japan, you're not going to notice these pricing changes. This is more for the lesser developed countries. And when I say lesser developed, I'm talking about more lesser developed in internet side of things. Devin Nash has a whole deep dive on how this is going to work and how it will affect the creators on the platform. Here's what he had to say.
Because of this problem. And what they're betting on is that a couple of things. So one, we'll call this the bet, right? One, countries in the second and third world, third territories, gotta be careful with like the third world, second world, because like if you're a country that's second world, that's like an economic thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the territory is not the same as like being like the purchasing power parity, right? It's similar, it's linked up, but in some cases, a first world country could be a Group B territory, right? Like I think a lot of people would consider Spain a first world country, but it's a Group B territory just because people don't have the purchasing power they have in somewhere like Germany or the US. So countries in these second and third territories, this is the bet, will develop infrastructure, good internet, we should define, will become more accessible, and Twitch will be watchable by more people. So number one is a good assumption. I think that that'll happen. As these countries naturally develop, then the internet will get better, infrastructure will get better, and Twitch will be accessible to more people. I should say accessible here. The second bet is a little bit more risky, and that's assuming that Twitch will develop better technology to make its platform more accessible to these users. And then this is a multi-year expectation. So they're thinking that like in 4 to 5 years or so, the amount of people that come into Twitch from second and third world countries will make these two things worth enough that localized pricing will shore up the revenue for second and third territory creators. So will that happen? I think so. So that's where this ends up.
So Sid, let me ask you a question here. We know Twitch has been losing money for a while now. Do you think that these types of changes could make an actual difference?
I don't know. I think the biggest issue here is looking at it from the perspective of their motivation. Their motivation isn't to get people more subscriptions. Their motivation is to get themselves more subscriptions because, like you said, they are losing money. So they're putting, in my opinion, effort into the wrong areas. They're looking at, themed subs and things like that, rather than improving the overall user experience on the website, which would bring more people in and help retain the people that they have, the ones that are bringing in the most money. They're just kind of making all of these choices, like with their recent hate raid situations. They're not putting efforts into the right areas to actually keep those people and bring in the money that they want to, because they're just looking at, well, maybe if we charge a little bit less, more people will subscribe, we'll still get our 50% cut, and we'll be able to pad our bottom line a little bit and maybe stop bleeding money. I think they're approaching it all wrong, honestly.
I actually agree with you completely. I think that they've been focusing on the wrong things for think that besides the content issues, which we're going to be getting into in a second, their outreach for their creators. I mean, the Twitch website has looked the same so long now. It wasn't the only thing that they've really done as far as improving it is when Mixer started, and Mixer started the FTL, the faster than light. They lowered the latency. They didn't even try to do that until Mixer started that. And we all know where Mixer went on this, but since then, I mean, they aren't really putting a lot of effort in the platform itself. Biggie, you've experienced this recently with them. What is your opinion?
It makes me sad. I hate Twitch. I hate Twitch. I hate what they do to try to help creators promote what they're doing. I hate that they are in it for the money. This is why I always said that they are never going to be better than number two, number three, is because their main concern is money. They let um I don't know, I don't want to say it so it's insulting, but they let people take advantage of their bodies in order to gain streams and gain money, and they take the joy of streaming right out of it with the way that they push you or show you, or I've technically been streaming on Twitch for 5 years. um you know I've never had more than 2 viewers without me promoting on another social media site. um I've recently, with everything that's going on, which we'll get to later in the show, I've learned that Twitch doesn't care, man. They just don't care. They don't care about you, the viewer. Or I mean, they don't care about you, the viewer. They don't care about the content creator. They don't care about what's going on. They're strictly Burger King. They're just gonna make their burgers. They're not gonna change anything. They're not gonna become different. And now with them, they just figured out a way to get more money out of places they were getting no money, and that's exactly what Sid was saying. They're patting their bottom line, and it just shows you like, um, you know, laziness and greed together equals Twitch, and that's exactly what you get. I would love to see Twitch try to do better. Facebook is going to overrun them. There's going to be, I mean, shoot, TikTok is starting to figure out ways to add to their live features. I'm telling you, TikTok's the next.
Well,
TikTok.
I mean, I think that there's a lot of interesting sides on that, because I do like there's been rumors of like Dr. Disrespect possibly going to Netflix as a possibility of streaming and stuff like that. But I want to kind of dig in on what you were saying, because I think your experiences with Twitch and what you've had, Biggie, are something that a lot of creators are feeling. And Sid, correct me if I'm wrong here. Isn't that like I have like that sentiment that we heard from Biggie has been the same sentiment that we've heard a lot. Am I wrong on that?
No, I mean, like, I joined up in the streamer space like 2.5 years ago, and I took some time off because of mental health reasons. But since I've started, that's always been an issue. Is there's no exposure, there's no discoverability. Like Biggie was saying, even streaming smaller games, you still might not get more than 2 or 3 viewers because even on low saturation games that everyone tells you to play, there's 500 people watching and 600 people streaming it. So you're still going to be fighting with so many other content creators, and that sense of just struggle can burn people out before they even have a chance to make any of their plans come true.
Yeah, and I like I said, I mean, and you touched on this right when we were first starting it. They've been focusing on the wrong things, especially when it comes to like their questionable content. Biggie was specifically was talking about the ASMR. I mean, they've with the ASMR streams that were out there, the hot tub streams that were out there, the gambling streams that and
Weeks ago, we talked about morals, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Please do.
this is exactly what we were talking about. There are no morals in company, in the way that the corporations are running things now. They're just treating us so poorly as people, and then this is just another example of of a company that's not connected to what they're trying to do. And we really love what Twitch brings to the table because of streaming. People love to stream. We're loving creating content. People all over the world now are finding new ways to become famous. And you know what? To me personally, if you're TikTok famous, that's really cool. If you're Facebook famous, that's really cool. And like Twitch has the opportunity to have people be Twitch famous for the right reasons instead of the wrong reasons. And they're leaning on the wrong reasons because it equals money in the short term, but not in the long term. Ask Mixer, like you have to have a long term goal. That's the one thing. Look, I'm not a big fan of Mark Zuckerberg. Okay. But he's on the right slow path, but he's
Mhm.
on the right path with Facebook gaming. When they rebrand it again, and they will be rebranding it, when they take off Facebook, then everybody's going to suddenly be like, this is the streaming service. The thing that scares everybody away is because it's Facebook. You know what I mean?
I think I agree with
Absolutely.
I think I agree
Twitch,
with that.
yeah, Twitch needs to really wake up and realize that they need to connect with another social media site. They need to figure
Not
out a
only
way
that,
for
not only
communities
that, but like YouTube, which right now I would say is their biggest competitor, is growing significantly, and they're not even trying. They're not really putting a whole lot of effort in their live side of it because their VODs are so popular. But it also kind of what your point kind of leads into what we're talking about next with these gambling sites. So one of the biggest problems that we've been finding with Twitch itself is they're not putting action prevent stuff that for their questionable or content that should or should not be on the stream. They're not making any clear distinctions of what that means. And an example of that is how they're going to be handling gambling, right? So gambling streams have been coming under huge because it's introducing gambling to a much younger audience than what it normally would. They show themselves making thousands and thousands of dollars, which they probably are. But it's not showing both sides of it. They don't really focus on the negatives when how much they've actually lost, just how much money they're making, and promoting that. And there's a lot of people. I'm a gambler myself, and I actually like watching gambling videos. But the videos I watch are generally on like YouTube, and it's just people playing blackjack and little casino games. I actually enjoy watching that, but but I can understand where I wouldn't want a 13-year-old kid watching it because they don't understand the differences here. So where I'm going with this is Twitch itself made a change to their gambling sites. They're putting a crackdown on gambling, And this is the announcement for what they had. To prevent harm and scams created by questionable gambling services that sponsor content on Twitch, we will prohibit sharing links and or referral codes to sites that offer slots, roulette, or dice games. We'll continue to monitor gambling-related content and update our approach as needed. To give you time to remove this content for your channel, enforcement will be delayed until August 17th. So, Biggie, you're talking about you're talking about your frustrations. Where do you stand on the gambling on this? And is this content that should be on Twitch?
All right. Well, it's a tricky issue because first off, if you or anyone you know has an issue with gambling or an addiction to gambling, please seek the proper help. I just want to say that off the bat. I'm not a gambler. It's so easy to become addicted to it. The rush, the endorphins that hit when you pop that slot, when you hit 21, these things they can't be replicated. You know what I mean? So I just want to get on it. Now Twitch here in this situation is really just joining back up to the bar. Sports stadiums now have legalized gambling inside stadiums. The Arizona Cardinals, I believe, were the first NFL team to have legalized gambling inside of the stadium. And you can get exclusive betting. Now there are WNBA teams that their courts are actually inside casinos, like Mohegan Sun in Jersey has a team. As far as Twitch cracking down on this, it's just fake. It's just them. They put a hamster in a wheel and they're rolling it around just to try to keep people's minds busy. Hey, look, we're doing the right thing over here. Pay attention. What they're introducing to children is another issue. And again, Twitch doesn't realize where their level of morality needs to be. There's no way to sign up, and they're not going to keep it 18 plus friendly. So you have to be aware of what the content is that's going out on your broadcast. It's your company. Do the right thing. You don't need to show gambling to an audience that doesn't need to watch it live. And adults, we have many ways to watch the World Series of Poker. You can go watch it on ESPN Plus. There's plenty of ways to get your gambling.
Well, and also the gambling content that you find on YouTube and like you said on ESPN Plus and everything else, it's also edited, it's filtered, it's understandable. Like you're kind of getting it now with questionable content like this and the other questionable content. Said, think that this is actually beneficial for the for Twitch, or do you think this is going to harm the platform in the long run?
Ultimately, I think it's only going to hurt the platform. I mean, you see in the UK, especially, they're cracking down on gambling targeting children, like with loot boxes and gaming. They're making a lot of laws. The US isn't far behind. I think Twitch is going to start getting hit with this a little bit more as far as fines on their end from government agencies. And that's really what Twitch needs to take action on things. We saw that with the DMCA stuff. Until it started becoming an issue for them, they didn't pay quite as much attention to it. Now it's a huge issue, and you get your entire channel taken down sometimes. So
yeah, it's funny how kind of Twitch works like that, right? They don't care about anything because it's not affecting them. Then the second that it's affecting them, they just put a quick crackdown on all their creators. And there was creators that ended up deleting all their VODs and everything else. They didn't actually roll out a real significant plan. They just said, here's the new rules and deal with it. I mean, how does that work for stuff like that happens? And how can you trust Twitch to not do that later on?
Yeah, I think once you are in that Twitch system, you rely on them for a lot. You rely on them for a big portion of your income. If you're doing this as a full-time streamer, even small-time streamers use this service to bring in money for valuable things like groceries and car payments and stuff like that. even if you're not making money off of it, and that's just where your community is based. You're putting a lot of trust in Twitch to keep the community safe and to keep you safe as a creator. And if they're just slapping band-aids on things and not actually putting any thought into the long-term implications, then that can be pretty nerve-wracking. You're just like, well, what happens if I do get taken down? Where do I go from there?
Yeah, and I mean, Biggie, being that streamer that's on Twitch and doing your thing, what do you know what I mean?
I feel lost, to be honest with you. Like when I don't I don't know. Twitch just it's a downer, man. It's just a downer. Everywhere you turn on Twitch, it's a downer. Whether it's news, you get sad hearing about it, then you go and use it to stream and you're streaming to nobody, you know. There's no emphasis on really giving me the ability to reach out. It, like it's so frustrating because honestly, when I was introduced to streaming, I thought it was a joke. Thought it was and then I bought in and I became a part of it. And I love it, man. I love it. I love putting on a show for people. And Twitch, it hurts me. It hurts my feelings. And uh, I'm I'm about to get emotional because with everything that's going on with losing my sight and like I needed Twitch to really like show up and like help me out.
I did want to go ahead and have you kind of explain your story about what's happening to you right now, because I think this is a very interesting topic to have, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted Sid on this show, because one, I love talking about ways of working with different social media platforms and how to grow and how to build off that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just have you kind of explain your story, and let's have a talk on that.
All right, tell them the story. So 3 weeks ago, I got a notification through Facebook that one of my videos had been flagged for being inappropriate for community standards. I'm already ready to break down. So what happened was I clicked on this notification and it happened to be a Trojan horse. The Facebook symbol was exactly the same, so I fell for it, right? It was my stupidity. I understand that. It's not like I get what I deserve type situation. I clicked on a notification because I worry about my Facebook page going down because I put a lot of work into what I've gotten so far. But so when I clicked on this notification, I let in a Trojan horse, and immediately, I don't. It's almost semi embarrassing to say what had happened. So a video of it was basically child pornography had been posted to my personal page. I am in no way supportive or part of that, and so to see my page get flagged for this, I instantly got afraid, and then my Facebook was shut down. Now I've tried to contact Facebook any way I can, but without being able to verify that I am who I am, which I can't do because I can't get onto my Facebook page, they won't talk to me. So right now I'm kind of in a wait and hold, but it does look like I'm probably going to lose my Facebook. And I don't care. I don't care. I don't care that it's just my Facebook page. Okay, guys, I care that I'm running out of options, and streaming really was something for me. I'm a 3-time stroke survivor. I've been a performer my whole life. I don't fit in the box that society has always put out there. So streaming was everything to me. So just to lose my hard work and my dedication to a brand new, not a hobby, but a future, because of some bot or somebody that doesn't care, some hacker that doesn't care who I am. They didn't want anything just to ruin my life. And I know it's not like big to everybody. Like life goes on. I have my children and they're healthy, and I have my wife and I love my family. I have that.
I'm let me help you out here in that sense, because I do know how hard that is. I mean, and in general, I mean, I personally and in my own sense have had something with Mixer and then lost it, where I had to restart everything onto Facebook. In fact, I had to take a break from it because it was so hard to even think about being able to start back up again and going from there. Sid, hearing this story, hearing what happens here, I mean, some of the things that I've had conversations with him on is about rebranding and coming back and going forward. Where would somebody move from here? That's my biggest question. You see the situation. Where do you start to back?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, man, I'm really sorry to hear that story. That's awful, and I wish you all the best in rebuilding. Absolutely. And if you need any help, please let me know on Twitter. But I think moving forward, it would be really important to think back on some of your most popular content. Think back on what really seemed to resonate with people, what you felt happiest doing, and start finding a middle ground between those two things and figure out a good content focus. Figure out like your mission statement of like, this is definitely what I want to be about, and this is what I want to do. This is what I want to bring to the streaming space, and start going forward with more clarity now that you do have a little bit of a base of what content performed relatively well, and then start building up some socials. I think that's going to be a huge help, is getting back onto social media, sharing some clips, making people know that you are still active, reaching out to anyone that you might have had contact with before, just being like, hey, please retweet this, share this, spread it around. I am back. I am making stuff. But even if you're not streaming, get some clips of yourself together. Act like you're streaming. Get some clips together, put them up on socials, start getting your name out there again.
Thankfully, I'm still streaming on Twitch, but again, that's
Nice.
the whole thing. It's Twitch has completely ruined me.
That's why you don't like Twitch. Like that's why you've been really experiencing that. And it kind of why, like, I'm kind of curious on this. How do you prevent stuff like this from happening? Not so much like not clicking on the right link or anything else, but how do you prevent that to happen so that you don't get exposed in this way?
I mean, like people have been talking about this for a while. Harris Heller, Devin Nash, Ashton Christ, all of these guys have been saying this over and over again. You have to diversify. But I think when streamers hear diversify, they get really scared because they're like, I'm just trying to stream, man. Like I don't have time for Twitter. I don't have time for Instagram, because everyone's just like, oh, you need 5 tweets a day and 3 posts on Instagram. And then now you've got reels and all of this other stuff. And then you're worrying about editing clips. You don't really have to do that. You just have to find what you click with and where you can manage to connect with the most people. Once you build that up, you have a community on that platform. You can pretty much take your long form content anywhere, whether it's streaming or video. Myself personally, I'm more active on Twitter. I have pretty decent community over there. So whether I decide to stream or whether I decide to move to another social media platform like TikTok or anything like that, while it might not be huge, I know that I do have a core group of people who pay attention to what's going on Twitter that I can move over to whatever new project I'm working on. And whether or not they continue to decide to support it, just, that's on me, how well I execute. But yeah, just kind of finding what social media platform you click on, having that be your main, then your long form content can reside on other platforms. Because let's face it,
the issue is that Facebook owns Instagram, so I lost my Instagram too, both my personal and Biggie B 4200. I mean, it sucks. That's the whole thing. Like diversity is actually what I do, but this still. Like, I mean, I multi-streamed on Twitch and Facebook always, every single time I stream. And then I'm TikTok. I'm big on TikTok. I make videos all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying. I do the right hashtags, the right music, all that stuff. But Instagram, I post reels, videos. I was doing stories. Like I did it all. So like exactly. The problem is that you forget that it's all under one umbrella. So if you get in trouble, and not even in trouble, like I didn't even do it. Like they won't even talk to me. I didn't do anything. I got hacked. You know what I'm saying? So it's even I didn't lose it. You know what I'm saying? It was taken away from me. And I think that's because all these guys are right. Like you're right. Yes. Like it's key. But there needs to be like these companies. And these companies need to remember that we're people. You need to be I know Corona's a thing. I know it's real. I know it's killing people. You can still have a phone service. Let me talk to somebody. You know, don't like Facebook does literally, they don't have a phone service. You're telling me they can't redirect phone calls to people's homes where they could
they can get a call center to do that.
They refuse to do it.
I think that definitely goes back to like, what we were talking about earlier with these companies just not caring about the people that are on the platforms. They care more about their bottom line. And Facebook is, while they might be a little bit better in that aspect from some of the things that I've heard than Twitch, at the end of the day, it's still Facebook. You know, they're still going to do what puts them a little bit closer to taking over Twitch. And they're not going to be looking at it as much of like, hey, if we really take care of our streamers, our content creators, we're going to get more, we're going to grow. They're looking at it as more of a money side of things. And, oh, how can we monetize? How can we get more people? And who can we pay off? Who can we buy from other platforms? And I think that attitude in general, as long as that's around, I think we're going to have a really hard time with situations like what you've run into.
They should be paying attention to me though, man. I'm telling you, I spent money through Facebook, ads, stars. I did it all. I'm like one of those people. I bought into Facebook gaming. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm one of those people. They should be paying attention to me. I know I'm small. Like I'm no Stone Mountain. I get it. But in 5 years, I'm. Please get ready to beat me out. Good. Bleep my words. But in 5 years, I'm gonna fucking be on top. Ain't nobody gonna stop this. You know what I'm saying? No hacker, no fucking brick wall. I don't care. I'm coming for the top. And if Facebook doesn't want to get my back and Twitch doesn't want to get my back, we'll move on. YouTube's there. You know what I'm saying? Biggie Beeb, as far as a brand, I'm gonna grow. This is my goal. I'm an entertainer. I'm here literally for you. I'm here for the people. There's no way around it. I'm here to make people smile. You can't beat my brand. Nobody has the product that I have. Because my product is happiness, and I will provide it for everyone. If any brand, any company wants to listen, or if anybody out there that watches this or sees me on Twitch, if anybody like Sid would say wants to help, wants to be a part of it, yo, I'm here because the companies may not be paying attention to us, but we're paying attention to each other. You know what I mean? I see y'all. Y'all see me. And the community is here. It's whoever's smart enough to give us what we want, to give us what we need, you know, keeping us safe from securities that we can't prevent. I'm sorry, it was a Facebook logo. You know what I'm saying? I clicked on a Facebook logo that told me my video had broken community standards.
Last year, that same issue. My brother-in-law is on YouTube. He has over 1 million subscribers right now. He had at the time he had like 500,000 or 600,000 subscribers, and the same exact thing happened to him. The only thing that was different, instead of them posting pornography, child pornography on his site, what they ended up doing is they ended up stealing all of his ad revenue. They ended up stealing all of his once they were able to get in, change his AdSense, and then set up changing all of that to be corrected. And YouTube, being a partner with YouTube, it took him a month to get that resolved. So he had like a full month's worth of revenue just gone because of that.
But even adding, like what you said though, even who the who the hell decides to post that kind of crap?
Yep.
Like, why is that the weapon? How is that a weapon? How is that a weapon for evildoers to use against good people? Like,
I think it's just because they know that it's such an immediate thing, because that's one of the things that the filters are set so heavily against, and as soon as it comes up, it's gone. So that's the fastest way for them to take down channels.
by the way, I
Anything else,
contacted my
it's
local
wild.
law enforcement about it. I called them to report what had happened. All right. They told me there's nothing they can do. Facebook has their own police.
And I mean, we've that one gets me mad for a couple reasons, but because I mean, we had a digital stalker, and it came to what's called, and I didn't have. I mean, I had on Mixer, we had like 100 viewers, stuff like that at times, wasn't consistent. And we ended up getting a digital stalker that actually found out where I lived, to a point where he was sending us, we got a phone call from Papa John's, and they were sending us 20 pizzas, telling us it's on the way and all this other stuff and everything else. But it was that stalker letting us know where we live. Right. That was the thing. And my wife was streaming with me at the time. Like we had the Brie and T streams going. Sometimes she'd be streaming, sometimes I'd be streaming, sometimes we streamed together. And it was a scary time. And this is just another aspect of this, but it's something that is what's called, we called the police. We called the non-emergency line. We had a cop come out. We tried to put in a police report for it. And they're like, well, this is only digital. This is just some kid pranking. And
Doesn't feel like
in
a prank to
reality,
me.
no. When somebody's telling you, no, I know where you live, that gets scary, especially when you have kids like
that's not a prank.
Young kids like I. But we're I don't even know what to ask you on this. I mean, we're going a little crazy when it comes to it. What do we do?
I think it's just really important to be careful with what you share on social media. Don't make it easy for people. Be careful with how you're tagging your location on things. I make sure when I'm on Instagram, I put very vague locations, because Instagram and all of these social media sites, they love it when you put a location on stuff, because it helps them boost you in the algorithm. But make sure you're putting very broad locations. Like I put Blue Ridge Mountains, because that covers 2 states, and even if they figure out exactly which state, that it's still a large area. But ultimately, there's a lot of talented, awful people out there. And if they really want to get your information in the online world that we live in, it will be found if they really want to get at it. So it's just about making sure that you are using some of these like scrubber services. You can sign up for some of them, and they'll scrub some of your personal data from the web and make it just a little bit harder, that little extra bit of security. But ultimately, it's just about keeping yourself safe with what you post.
And Biggie, do you have anything left to say on this, man? Like when it comes to it, and like what your plans are for the future?
So the rebrand is coming soon. Some ideas, some changes. I know I'm going to use my experience to restart, and re-go at this in a new way. I've been called Biggie B my entire life. Like, you don't understand. It was my first rap name when I was 13 years old. You know what I mean? Like, it's the truth. You know what I mean? Like, that's what my friends all called me growing up. It was always Biggie B. So hopefully I can figure out a way to keep my name, because it's my name. I've purchased so much as far as websites and things of that nature with the Biggie B 4200 name connected to it in order to grow my brand. But there's a rebrand coming soon. But until then, keep an eye on my Twitch, keep an eye on my TikTok, pay attention to me, because I'm telling you, the people that are on board with me now will be the people that will be on board with me when I'm on top. That's a fact,
Well,
Jack.
let me ask you one more question on this. With your experiences with Facebook, Biggie, would you be willing to go back? Because obviously, like you said, you've experienced something that you really shouldn't have, and that you can't resolve it with them. Would you be going back to Facebook in that regard because of that?
If given the opportunity, if Facebook lets me back, absolutely, I will be back in full capacity. It is it is coming up, and I want to be a part of what Facebook gaming is going to be. I enjoy the social aspect of it. There's something to be said for my page, for my community, for the things that my groups, we've built something that Facebook only can provide. And that's the cool part about what I think Facebook gaming is, yeah, YouTube's cool. It's great, for videos and for live streams. But as far as talking, as far as being friends, it's hard. And they don't make it simple. Like, I'm friends with the people in my community. Like, no joke. Go check out Sapper Sauces on Facebook. It's my boy Troy. I met him through. He was one of my fans. He became one of my mods. Now he provides, like, no joke. I don't buy my hot sauce from anybody else, and he's from Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff that I got to do through Facebook because he was watching my stream because he's our age, so he still uses Facebook. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it. The young cats, they're kind of feeling like moving on, but no matter what, my TikTok, it redirected to my Facebook. So I just want I'm going back with a full head of steam, and this time I'm gonna just be more aware. I'm gonna be more careful. I'm going to take the necessary steps, but I'm also going to be thankful for what I have. And remember that at any moment I could lose it because of somebody else's hatred for joy.
So let me go ahead and Biggie, thank you so much for that. Let's go ahead and go back to Sid on this. What final thoughts do you have and of advice here for what I consider a really good friend?
Well, I think he's definitely on the right track, man. I think you got a good idea trying to get back into it as fast as you can and not having a whole lot of downtime, jumping right on Twitch, keeping yourself active, making content. Because I know from personal experience, when you take time off, it takes a lot to get that ball rolling again, whether it's voluntary or involuntary time off. So definitely good job keeping everything going. I would say next time, just make sure that you're not focusing on platforms that are under the same umbrella. Like with Instagram and Facebook, just kind of look into the background of the parent companies of them. Try to be on Twitter and like you're on TikTok already, and just try to keep things a little bit separated as much as you can so that you do have that to fall back on. But it seems like you definitely got the right ideas, man, and I wish you good luck.
Yeah, and myself in general. When it comes to this, man, you told me that story. We were talking on the phone. My heart hurt for and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to wanted to have this conversation in a public setting, because one, I want this type of situation to be something that kind of prevents, right? But then on top of it, I also love the passion that you put to things, and I love the passion that you put into yourself, and the confidence you have in yourself. That I think that needed to be seen as well, because as far as I said, you're not joking when you're talking about the passion and the love and what's called, you have more love for your community than I've seen like most people.
It legit broke me, you know. I'm broken right now. As you can tell, I'm crying again. It I feel defeated in this battle. But it's gonna show my character, and it's gonna show my community my character when I get back up.
For
You know?
sure.
And I I'm so thankful for the people that still see something in me. So I mean, I bought into myself a long time ago. I believe in the fact that if you don't believe in yourself, nobody's going to believe in you. Not egotistical. I'm not arrogant. I'm just the right amount of confidence.
And I wouldn't disagree with any of that. Let me go ahead and put this off on the audience. What would you do if you were in Biggie's situation? If you had to rebrand, if you lost what you had and went from there, I'm just curious at how that's gonna end up. Biggie, thank you again for sharing that story. Going from there, I appreciate everything that you're doing. Let's go ahead and just go ahead and let everybody know where we can find you now.
All right, so right now, keep an eye on my TikTok. That's Biggie B 4200. Also, my Twitch, Biggie B 4200. I go live almost nightly at 9:30. And I'm gonna be rebranding on Facebook, and I'm gonna be rebranding on Twitter and YouTube as well. So keep an eye out for heebie-jeebie, something along that. I really like the name heebie-jeebie. You guys mention in the comments. Let me know what you think. Mr. Heebie-jeebie, heebie-jeebie, Heebie, and then he big. Anyways, I'm going into detail too much, but yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you guys
thank
for
you.
listening.
And Sid, thank you so much again for being here, being a part of this conversation. I really enjoyed this conversation despite the content on it. Where can we find you and going forward?
Well, I'm on TikTok as well, at SydLance. On Twitter as well, same at SydLance, and I run my YouTube channel as well, where I'm doing marketing tips and branding tips for everybody. That is also SydLance. I managed to get really lucky and get the same thing across all of it. But yeah, let me know if anybody needs help with anything on these subjects. You can always DM me. Thanks so much for having me on, man. I had a blast.
This was a good time. A little sad time at times, but it was good. I love the conversations. I love this type of feel that we had today. I want to once again thank both. Their information, their links are going to be all displayed in the description. Make sure you give them some love. Make sure you give them stop in on their videos and stream. Because I will say, in my experience with Greg, he's 100% in exactly what he's talking about. He is 100% there for the audience, and there hasn't been a time where I messaged Sid that he didn't. So that's huge. That I really like about it. So once again, guys, thank you guys so much for watching the show. Thank you guys so much for being a part of it. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and tap that bell for notifications. Have a great day, guys.